Alright, this is John Cola with OKRaw.com, and I'm still here at the San Diego Fruit Festival and run into old friends and meet new ones. So today I have Dr. Ben Benulis, and I met Ben before he was a doctor. Maybe like, I don't know, many years ago at the Woodstock Fruit Festival. Originally I met so many cool people at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, and I meet them and see them here and there. Where was I the other day? And I saw somebody that saw me from the Woodstock Fruit Festival. But anyways, Dr. Ben actually healed himself of an autoimmune condition, and actually this is something near and dear to my heart because I also had a type of autoimmune deficiency, actually called complement immune deficiency, that I actually healed myself from over the years by changing diet and doing other things as well. But I want him to share his story with you because maybe you have this specific autoimmune condition, or maybe you just have another autoimmune condition, and definitely, in my opinion, cleaning up your diet will definitely go to help, as well as other tips that Dr. Ben will be giving you in this episode today. So Dr. Ben, what specific autoimmune condition did you have?
Sure, so for a long time I didn't know because doctors couldn't really figure it out, but after researching I figured out I had a rare one called chronic myalgic encephalopathy.
Wow, and so what are the symptoms of that, and how did you know you had this situation, this opportunity actually in your life?
In the beginning I definitely didn't. I was in a lot of pain. I had basically chronic muscle aches, chronic fatigue, brain fog, terrible digestion. I had a weird eczema-like rash on my hands, and all these symptoms just kind of came on over the course of about 6 months to a year, where I had previously been completely healthy. So it was one of those things I kind of had to figure it out as I went along.
So it kind of struck you all of a sudden, and I'm sure you went to regular medical doctors. They ran all these blood tests, and for a lot of things, medical doctors could figure out what you got, and actually, for the most part, they're pretty good at diagnosing things, but in some cases, they could maybe infer that it's in your head or you're coming up with stuff because they can't find a medical reason. So what was your situation, and what happened to you?
That was pretty accurate as far as what happened. That I basically, I had put my faith and trust in the medical system because that's all I had known. I had medical doctors in my family. The idea of doing anything alternative in the beginning was like not even an option. And I just thought, okay, these guys can help me and get the blood work done. Well, nothing really looks wrong. Well, here are my symptoms. Well, give me certain medications and stuff to suppress the symptoms, but nobody was looking at the big picture of what was wrong. Got, kind of shuffled around from specialist to specialist. And most people said, oh, it's not that bad, or like I couldn't get an answer, and I couldn't get anybody who really was cared, if you know what I mean. It was more like, oh, we'll just shove you off the rheumatologist or the endocrinologist, and they'll figure it out. Everyone was just lobbing it over the fence, And that's when I got tired of just getting shuffled around, and I realized I got to figure this out myself, or things are just going to keep getting worse.
Wow, and sometimes, as well as a medical system, and in some ways I think they're really great, but in some ways, they can't diagnose exactly everything. I wish there was a computer like a tricorder back in Star Trek they could put up to you and say you have this, because then at least you could have some knowledge of what you need to do to correct that. You could do some Google searches if you're on your own, or see a specialist that can help you, But I think the other thing is, taking a look at the baseline and getting back to a healthy diet. So many people eat unhealthfully these days with all these other toxins floating around the air, chemicals, and all these things can have negative impacts. And basically how I look at it is all these things accumulate and build up in you. Stress also builds up and accumulates. And when you get to the tipping point, then your body just rejects it and says, okay, now you're going to have all these symptoms because I have the toxic overload. We need to basically detox those toxins and then start eating a proper diet, which includes plenty of fruits and vegetables, as you'll learn, to heal ourselves. So even if you're undiagnosed or self-diagnosed, one of the first steps I would always do is make dietary changes to improve your diet, because most people's diets are not perfect. My diet's not even perfect, and I'm still working on improving it, finding out what really works for me, and making it better, although I have a lot of experience. So, Dr. Ben, how did you get into even eating a fruit diet or trying this in the first place? Because most people would think, oh, fruit diet or eating mostly fruits and vegetables, that's insane, that's crazy, man. What we eat doesn't matter if you ask medical doctors.
Well, I basically I was having really bad digestive problems, and I figured, okay, maybe if I eat something different, like my digestion will improve. Because I was basically on a vegetarian standard American diet where I was eating a lot of processed food and stuff like that, and so I had a very lazy approach. Like I pretty much just microwaved every meal that I made, or like ordered takeout or whatever. So I thought, okay, well, I don't like to cook or prepare food. That's a lot of work and like time, and like you have to learn new recipes, and it's just forget it. So I was like, I got an idea. I could eat healthier if I made smoothies, right? Because a blender's a lot like a microwave. Like you take the food, you open it up, you throw it in there, you close the lid, and then you press a button, and like 30, 60 seconds later, you got your food, right?
And it nukes it. Well, it polarizes it and de-antioxidants it, but that's another story.
Yeah, so one of those devices, just shoots it full of radiation, probably not the best thing to be putting in your body, and the other one just has a blade that spins around and cuts it up and makes it easier to eat.
Lot better,
Yeah.
way eons better, yeah.
And so I figured, well, fruits and vegetables are health food. I probably like smoothies would be easy, And so that's just the route I went down because I was just
lazy.
Yeah.
Hey man, I love a guy that's honest. And I mean, hey, one of the best things you guys could eat, honestly, even though you're oxidizing some of the nutrients, is blending up fruits and vegetables and making green smoothies specifically. Even a fruit smoothie is definitely better than all the other processed junk food, vegan foods that are out there, in my opinion. Although, nowadays people should be familiar with vacuum blending. If you're not familiar with that, please check a link down below for a video I have on vacuum blending. That's the ideal way to, blend your smoothies up so you significantly reduce the oxidative damage to the polyphenols and antioxidants. They could have 2 to 3 times more of these beneficial, in my opinion, healing nutrients in your smoothies by simply using a different blender that'll suck a vacuum out, or even making your own. I have a video on YouTube, link down below, how you can make your own vacuum blender out of a Nutribolt for 20 bucks. There's no excuse not to do it, All right, Ben, so you started making smoothies because it was super easy, and did you start seeing results, or what happened, and how do you really get in and dive into a fruit and vegetable-based diet?
Sure. So just start, basically whatever was in the fridge, throwing it in the blender, just making like kitchen sink smoothies, like whatever's thrown in the kitchen sink. And so, as you might imagine, some of them tasted pretty good. Some of them were, okay, I can kind of knock it back, but this isn't the best. And then some of them were just like completely unpalatable.
But did you like plug your nose and drink it because you bought like all this expensive kale and ingredients, or what?
Sometimes, yeah. So then I got this idea. Why not go on there's this website, you might have heard of it, it's called YouTube. And you can go on there and you Google recipes, right?
Yeah.
So I searched for smoothie recipes. And that's kind of one of those things that's like, just got sent down the rabbit hole, right? And so I started finding people like Dan McDonald, Mike Arnstein, and just got sucked in. And, I was making smoothies, started making green juices, stuff like that, and just started feeling better. And it just sort of became this upward spiral of just getting more and more into it, because the more I did it and the more of that food I ate, the better I felt. I started noticing my symptoms going away. When I really got into it hardcore, I would say like pretty much 80-90% of my symptoms went away in 2 to 3 months.
Wow, so just by making smoothies and some juices and eating more simply, 2 to 3 months, like what the doctors couldn't help you with for like maybe even years, just like resolved on its own, because our bodies are amazing self-healing creatures.
Yeah, and I'd heard people talk about that and it made logical sense, but when I actually experienced it myself, like, oh, my body is actually healing itself before my eyes, and these symptoms that I used to have were just going away, and my energy levels going through the roof, and just like my fitness is getting better, like all these. I just wanted to eat food that didn't make my stomach feel like World War III. Like all the other things I just sort of taken for granted as part of life. That you're tired all the time, and like you can't think clearly, and like that's just must be just getting old, right? At 28 years old or something. So yeah, like level of health, like I didn't just get back to where I was before I got sick. Like I just kept going up, because apparently I didn't realize I had been just living at a low level of health for a long time.
Wow. So what differences did you see in your health after, basically you healed your symptoms and then got even healthier? Like, what did you notice? What was really apparent to you that you really look back on and it's like, wow, I'm really glad I made these dietary changes to make these smoothies and eat more fruits and vegetables almost exclusively for a little period of time?
Yeah, sure. So one thing I noticed was that my performance at my job got way better. That, before with the brain fog, I had been like really starting to drop down and not do well. My boss was getting on me about stuff, and then all of a sudden I was like finishing the workday at 4 o'clock. It was just like I'd done everything. There was everything to do. And then it was like pretty soon I was finishing the workday at 3 o'clock, and I was just basically having to hang out at my desk and pretend to be busy. So that was one thing.
Milking the clock.
Yeah. So then the other thing was that my fitness really improved. I had already been working out at this personal training studio where you work with a trainer and they track all your numbers as far as like, your lean body mass, your strength to weight ratio, what all your lifts are, and they really did like a real analytic job of determining like what was the best workout for you to do. And so, a couple months into the diet change, the trainer comes to me and she's like, Ben, what's going on? Like, you have the best strength to weight ratio, you have the least amount of body fat of anybody who trains here. Like, you're just crushing it. What are you doing?
You're like, I have the best trainer in the whole world.
So I told her, I'm doing this like raw fruit-based diet where you just eat like all fruits and green vegetables, and like you don't eat any animal products or cooked foods or anything like that. And like it's transformed my health, and and it was like record scratch. They were like, what do you mean? Like you got to eat protein.
Yeah, you can't have that level of performance without protein. You're lying to us, man. What's up?
Well, they thought, this won't last. You got to get protein. Like, this is really bad. You're not eating enough protein? Oh my God, this is going to be terrible.
Protein is in fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. And so they freaked out, but I'm like, well, you just told me that my numbers were the best of anybody who works out here. Like, obviously, like, if it ain't broken, don't break it.
Yep.
But they just didn't get it.
People are so brainwashed into eating just the regular food out there. I want you guys really to take the next step. I mean, you're hearing from Ben today, his testimonial. I'm excited about his testimonial, how he's increasing, but these are things that I've also realized. My strength to body weight ratio, I mean, I don't work out, I don't have a personal trainer, but it's like, it's incredible.
Yeah, definitely. So, and just overall mood too. Like sometimes you just don't, that was one thing I noticed. Like I just felt good about life. How's that for a side effect of changing your diet?
Amazing.
Yeah, something you just, sometimes a lot of people take for granted, or they think that it's just their circumstances in life that are dictating their level of happiness, but it's an inside job. You probably talked about
brain chemistry, man. It's influenced by your environment, and food is part of your environment. Your thoughts are your environment. There's so many other things, spirituality and all these things. But yeah, food is a big component. If you don't have the right, literally, phytochemicals going in, your brain doesn't have the right nutrients to do what it needs to make you feel good. And cacao is not the answer.
Short-term fix.
Right, short-term fix. Once again, I think cacao is a great drug. Food that should be used as a medicine or a drug. The bean, but the fruit, yeah, eat all the cacao fruit you want. That's not the same as the bean. That's so awesome, man. So even nowadays, you got so healed, you're like so inspired, you even got to turn to be a doctor, right? You're an alternative doctor now. So you want to explain how you got to becoming a doctor now to actually even help people with a situation like yours or, other challenges they're having?
Sure. So basically what happened was, after I went through this transformation, it was a physical transformation, but it was also a mental, emotional, spiritual transformation too. Like my values changed, and like I didn't care. Certain things just didn't have any meaning for me. Like there was no reason to go. Like I stopped drinking, right? Like I stopped eating at restaurants because it was just like these things that weren't congruent with health, and I got a better sense of like what was really important to me, and I also I stopped watching television. But at the same time, I was working at a job. I was this microchip company where we were making microchips that were going into TVs in Japan. Or we were making microchips that went into blood glucose meters. And they're like, well, guys, the diabetes market is exploding. We're making so much money on these microchips that go into the blood sugar meters. And I'm just like, oh my God. That's everybody thought they had the solution for the problem. But like, you could make 1 million, microchips to read your blood sugar, but if you were like still, eating fried chicken, the diabetes market would continue to explode, right? So I really just, I hit 30, I just was forced to reevaluate, like, what the hell am I doing with my life? Because when you're eating a diet that clean, you can't, there's, like, these thoughts that you have, it's easy to numb them with alcohol, food, drugs, any number of unhealthy activities. But when you're living that clean lifestyle, like, these things come up to be dealt with. And so I reevaluated, and I realized, like, I wanted to be the person that I couldn't find when I got sick. Everything that I had to figure out on my own, I knew there were other people out there struggling and that had nobody to turn to.
Yeah.
And it's like, somebody's got to step up, and I realized, like, guess it's got to be me, like, would have been nice if someone else did, but this is a huge problem. I mean, we've got 25 million people in the United States diagnosed with autoimmune disease, and estimated...
And it's only growing.
Yeah.
Like, huge.
And that's diagnosed. Like, we estimate at least 25 more million walking around undiagnosed. And so if you think about that, like, 600,000 people die of heart disease every year. Autoimmune disease isn't killing people, but millions of people are suffering.
Yeah, and it's shortening your life.
Yeah, and definitely
in your quality of life.
Severely decrease your quality of life. Yeah, so I was living in Texas at the time, in Austin, and I knew, I wanted to become a doctor. I thought, if I had 5 brain cells, I could do a better job than all the doctors who dropped the ball on me. And I realized, like, drugs and surgery weren't, I knew that approach, like, wasn't what I wanted to do. I knew that it wasn't as effective for chronic disease, not nearly as effective. And I didn't want to spend the time in medical school learning these things that I was never going to use. And so since naturopathy isn't licensed in Texas, I went to chiropractic school figuring, like, I'll just basically, like, be a naturopath that happens to be a chiropractor. It's kind of my strategy. So moved to LA where to go to chiropractic school, where the fruit is amazing. I think you would agree, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why I drive to LA once a month to pick up fruit and take it back with me.
So I was driving every Saturday to the same place, the wholesale market, and just loading up the Honda Civic with as much fruit as I could jam in there, and it was a good time.
Cool. So then you became a chiropractor and a doctor, and now you can help people with autoimmune or other conditions to basically, get them healthy. So do you do this over the phone or in person, and where are you located now?
Sure, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona now. So I do this, I teach seminars, and so I do like a 1-day seminar is my thing. I also have a website. I have like online modules and stuff like that. So can I talk about the website?
Yeah, sure, man.
So it's autoimmunerecoveryblueprint.com, which is basically like a short guide that it's free. You sign up for my email list, you get it. Basically everything I wish I had known 9 years ago on just like 5 pages.
Wow.
The fundamentals.
Amazing.
So you can take that and run with it. And then I've got more information. I got videos and I got seminars that I do if you want to like really dive deep.
And if you want to get personal consults, you do that as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And I mean, that's really why I make all my videos, because I'm grateful to be alive, and I've learned a lot along my journey since I started my plant-based raw fruit and vegetable diet back in 1995. I've been doing this like super long time. My videos tend to be a little bit long, and I don't do any personal advice stuff. We'll leave it to Dr. Ben to talk to you guys personally and coach you, but I share all my ideas. And if you watch all my videos, it will have such an education. And of course, as my new videos come out, you can learn more and more, and I try to condense some of the knowledge, although I talk a lot because, I can't share everything in 5 minutes. And, I wish we could sit with Dr. Ben for the whole night and we could go over all these things. But basically what I want to let you guys know is that I want to share something really valuable with you. Something that, and this is the reason why I got Dr. Ben on today, because, although dietary changes are super important for your health, another thing super important is breathing, which I've learned about a long time ago. So I want Dr. Ben to teach us a breathing exercise that can also help your immune system and just boost your body so you could get healthy. And this is not something a lot of people unfortunately talk about, is breathing properly and doing certain breathing exercises to literally, we eat food certain times of the day, but we're taking breaths constantly, otherwise you would not be alive. And we can optimize our breath and do some breath work to increase that. So like if you're into playing music, flute players, they know how to breathe because they have to be able to play the flute and play music. So Dr. Ben, what are you going to share with us today?
So I'll share and teach a number of breathing exercises, and these really help people with autoimmune conditions because a lot of time their nervous system is stuck in that fight or flight overload. And guess what? Your nervous system controls your immune system. And if your immune system is out of whack, it's probably because your nervous system's out of whack. And so if we can tone down that fight or flight response, we can get the nervous system to better regulate the immune system, and we can get a big decrease in symptoms.
How many different breathing exercises are you going to show us?
I'll just show you one,
All right.
because some of certain ones I have to be in other positions that just wouldn't be agreeable to this video. Yeah, like lying on your back or whatever.
And do you have these all the breathing exercises on a website in one of your modules or courses that somebody could take if they want to really dive in deeper?
Yeah,
and if they get results from this little small segment, I would encourage you guys to check into Dr. Ben's work to take you to the next level, to take you even further than just this little sampling that we're going to do for you today.
Yeah, sure. And so this one is real fundamental. It might even seem like, why are you even doing this? And when I first got introduced to this stuff, I thought it was absurd, but it works, gets results.
And you help other patients, many people with this, using these techniques, right?
Yeah, and ultimately, I'm up for what works. I started making smoothies because I just wanted to get results.
And the doctors were laughing at him, his trainer laughed at him, but it worked, right?
Yeah.
And so this could work too, or will work.
Yeah. And I would love if drugs and surgery cured all diseases, and we wouldn't have to be here making these videos.
Yeah, but they cure. Well, surgery can help you with chronic, not chronic conditions, but emergency conditions, right?
Yeah.
But other things, medical doctors may not be so good for.
But but basically what I'm saying is if the cure to disease was to put on an octopus costume and battle rap in Russian, that's what I would do. So if
that sounds fun.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, if this breathing exercise seems hokey, just trust me, it works.
Yeah, and stick with it for a period of time. How long would you say somebody should stick with this to try it, to really get it down before they could maybe see some results?
I would say, sometimes the results can be instantaneous, but I would say make a habit of doing some sort of mindfulness exercise every day, whether it's breath work or meditation or yoga or something like that.
And I totally agree with that. So that's something that I've really kind of been getting into lately, that I'm finding I'm really needing in life, is mindfulness. I don't like calling it meditation, I like calling it mindfulness, because that's something my brain could personally wrap around with and not thinking, oh, that stuff's so woo. But I have friends that I admire that have been doing meditation for their whole lives, and it's so helpful. So helpful.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's learn this breathing technique. I'm kind of excited.
So this one I like to use if you're having acute digestive distress, you ate something that disagreed with you, you veered off the plan, or maybe you got some melon belly because you just ate watermelon too fast. We talked about that today, right? But basically, so you're taking one hand over the other and just putting it over the navel area, because not only is this is where your stomach is, but it's also as a big part of your nervous system is in your gut, right? And so you have this plexus of nerves called the celiac plexus. So in Western thought, there's a lot of the nervous system hangs out here, so we can affect it here. From an Eastern perspective, this is a chakra, an energy center. So we're just basically breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. You close your eyes, that usually helps. We're just taking slow inhales through the nose. And you can hold, and then you can just do a slow exhale through the mouth. And this probably actually works better lying on your back. And then basically just acknowledging the pain that you have there, really trying to connect with that spot. And you could say, I'm hurting here right now, or I'm in so much pain. Not even trying to make it go away, just acknowledging the suffering that you're feeling. Because basically when your body is having this symptom of pain, it's crying out for help.
You need to accept it and not be rejecting it, because once you surrender, that could help just to calm your nerves a little.
Yeah, because basically the body is a cry for help, and so what do? We take a medication to try to suppress the symptom. And so then the body starts screaming louder and louder over time. It's okay, let's take a step back, let's acknowledge something's wrong. Maybe we don't have the solution right now, but just by acknowledging it, our nervous system can get out of that fight or flight mode.
So that was a pretty quick lesson. So put it on your hands on your stomach, and then you're closing your eyes, breathing in through your nose, and then you're breathing into your hands, and are you pushing, or are you just holding your
No,
hands
you're
there?
you're just holding your hands there to bring awareness to that spot.
And then so you could breathe into it. So you're aware of this spot. You feel your hands on your belly, and you're breathing into it, into your belly, not shallow chest breathing. So this is a good technique. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's super simple technique. And I want to share one more breathing technique real fast for people that maybe have an autoimmune condition, something that's really helped you.
Okay. So there are several. I'm trying to think of another one that might be appropriate, but it might be like alternate nostril breathing.
Yeah, of course. They do that in meditation.
Yeah, so this is one where you're basically closing off using these two fingers, and you're taking turns,
like
alternating which one you close off, and you're just breathing in and out of the other one. So, and you're gonna shoot boogers everywhere. I just shot a booger at John. Just saw him. Go that way.
It's all good.
This is another way to calm the nervous system. If you do it right, your diaphragm is going to hurt after like a few minutes of doing it, because it takes a lot of power to like push air through the nostril, but it's another way to get the body out of that fight or flight state and into more of that rest and digest and heal state.
So when you're doing it, like how long do you breathe in, breathe out for, push in, push out?
It's just it's a quick breath each way.
So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, like literally that fast.
Yeah.
And how long would you continue to do that for until you stop?
Until it gets uncomfortable to do it.
Wow, so as long as you go for it, because once again, like building muscles when you're lifting weights, if you just lift light weights, you're never going to build muscles. So it's like you got to go until you feel it, and then you got, I'm so tired. And this is how we will build up our breathing capacity and calm our nervous system. So until exhaustion. I mean,
so in the beginning it used to be like 60 seconds, and I was like cooked. I couldn't do any more. Now
you're cooked.
Go for maybe 5 minutes, but it's
you could go for 5 minutes now. Doing that. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to get into this more. I'll have to try. I'll start doing it and timing myself. Like Ben does it 5 minutes. I'm gonna do it 10, man.
I definitely had times when it was just like my diaphragm was so sore. I was like, oh my god, I have to stop.
But that's how you build muscles and you build this up. Build your breathing capacity. That's so awesome, man. Wow, see, 2 simple things, these breathing exercises can definitely change your life if you start implementing them. Maybe a time to do that would be before you're gonna go to bed and just tire yourself out doing these breathing exercises, like, oh my god, my diaphragm's so tired, then you conk out on the bed and get good sleep, because sleep, another very important element to your health. So Ben, besides the breathing exercise, you want to share one final tip with my viewers today about diet, something that really that helped you along your path to heal your autoimmune opportunity. And now that he had this opportunity, that's the only reason why he's a doctor now, and now he's able to help you, because he didn't have the help he needed when he had a situation, an opportunity. So I think this is great. And see if you do have some health challenges in life. I like to call them health opportunities, because this allows you to learn and grow. And in the end, you will be able to help others. So I always encourage you guys to use your voice, whether you want to make YouTube videos, whether you want to speak at local event venues, whether you want to have a blog. But share with people what you're doing, because unfortunately, information in society, in my opinion, is getting suppressed, and we need to basically inform each other like grassroots style. All right, Ben. So what's another tip you really think will help people?
So I would say, just in general, managing your stress.
So how to manage your stress? Because so many people get stressed. My kids are yelling at me. This is happening. This is happening. I got bills to pay. Like, I hate my job, but I got to go and make money. And so what do you do?
So you getting enough sleep, like you talked about. Also, you got to find a type of exercise that you like to do and do it regularly, because that's huge for managing your stress. So you can eat the best diet, but if you're not moving your body, it's not going to happen for you.
Cool. So getting enough sleep and exercise for stress, maybe some of those breathing exercises, and any foods you could recommend that support your body to help maybe reduce stress. The answer to reducing your stress is get rid of the stress. If there's an ex-girlfriend or a current girlfriend or boyfriend, husband or wife that's stressing you out, right? Do you really need them in your life? You might want to question. I don't want to be the cause of somebody breaking up, but I have a good friend that said, hey, I got rid of my ex-girlfriend and so much stress lifted out of me and my health improved. Yeah. And if somebody's causing you stress and they're not beneficial, I don't know, kick them to the curb.
maybe a job or an employee or an employee or someone in your life that's causing you a roommate situation that's causing you a lot of stress, that once you get out of it, you're like, whoa, okay, I didn't realize how bad that was affecting me.
Yeah, and just because it's just not worth your health. Your health is your most important wealth. And so sometimes we forget about this and get caught up in daily life, and people start getting to accepting. So I accept I have this autoimmune condition. I accept I have bad roommates, and I just have to deal with it. You do not have to. You have a choice. You are empowered every second of the day. Every time you wake up in the morning, you have the choice to make changes in your life to make things better if you choose. But if you want to live in your soils, you're free to do that. So one more tip to help reduce stress, Dr. Ben.
I would say don't stress out too much over your diet. If you make a mistake, don't freak out and let it be, send you down this downward spiral. Just pick yourself up and dust yourself off, because, I made plenty of mistakes, you probably made plenty of mistakes, and if we let it eat away at us, it's just causing us more stress than sometimes than eating unhealthy food. So you make your mistake, you go, I'll get them next time, and no one's gonna get it perfect the first time around, so just see every mistake as a learning opportunity and don't beat yourself up so bad. I think that will greatly reduce your stress level.
Wonderful. The other thing I would say is set the bar low, right? If you're have this goal, I'm gonna be 100% raw, 100% fruit, or 100% this, 100% that, you're setting the bar way too high, and even the highest high jumpers aren't gonna be able to hit that bar. But if you're hey, I'm gonna eat 2 extra fruits a day. Who cannot eat 2 extra fruits a day? Because you're totally lame, you're gonna eat 2 small blueberries. I eat 2 extra fruits a day, I win! My 10-year-old nephew was over, and he's he saw my Andy chart on the fridge, and he's man, kale's 1,000, and we went out to my garden, and he hates kale, he doesn't eat kale. But we went out to my garden, we picked 5 kale leaves, they weren't even that big, and we put them in his smoothie, and he ate them, and he's I got 5,000 points from eating kale. And normally he would never eat it, but we just mixed it with fruit, and he didn't even know they were there. So it's these small incremental steps, and setting the bar low so you could surpass it, and then raise the bar a little bit at a time until you're where you need to be. And maybe you never get to 100% raw or whole food, plant-based, whatever your goal is, but just keep the bar low so you could always exceed it instead of make it hard to reach, right? And this could also help you reduce so much stress. Wow, Ben, this has been such a great interview to help people out there watching to learn some breathing exercise, to learn how to deal with some stress. And I know you teach this stuff, and you have a website, and you have Instagram, and all these things. You want to share some of that with you if somebody wants to learn more directly from you, get that free give them your email address to get that free healing program, which you should start to implement immediately because it's free if you have some kind of autoimmune opportunity to work with.
First of all, the first time I heard somebody call a disease an opportunity, and I think that's the perfect way to reframe it, because it totally was. It opened up all these new things in my life, and if I could go back again, I would do it all over again and get as sick as I was, because all the good things that came into my life after it far exceeded any of that. So you find me, it's just my name, Dr. Benjamin Benulis, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm just my name on all of those 3.
Yeah, links down below in case you have a problem spelling his name.
Yeah, and then the guide is autoimmunerecoveryblueprint.com. Yes, it's a long name, but we'll put a link down below.
Yeah, link is down below, and if you have an autoimmune condition, I highly recommend go there. You have nothing to lose, maybe losing your email address, getting a few emails. Ben will not spam you. He's a good guy. I've known him for 8.5 years now. I followed him and see him every now and then. It's always cool to catch up, full of knowledge, and I want to encourage you guys to reach out and find people that you can learn from. I don't care if it's me or if it's Ben, but find as many teachers as you can and pull from each teacher the knowledge that you need, you're seeking, and maybe leave the other things that you may not be in agreement with. And so I appreciate you guys that have stayed to the end of this video. My videos tend to be long, but even if you learn one thing from a video, or if I go to an event and I learn one thing, learn about one new plant at a nursery, if I just learn one thing, I'm so happy, because I don't know it all and I'm still learning. I'm a student in life, and to become a better teacher, you need to become a better student. So I'm always constantly learning and sharing with you guys what I learned. Thank you, Dr. Ben, for sharing with me some of these breathing exercises that I actually personally need to implement in my life to reduce my stress levels. Although I've already created and I don't even like the word use the operand word stress. Just like disease. Instead of stress, I like to say peaceful. I'm living a peaceful life versus a stress-less life, or whatever. So always reframing these things to make it positive for you, so that you can, it can benefit you. So so with that, if you guys enjoyed this episode with Dr. Ben, hey, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you know an autoimmune support group, a Facebook group, wherever, share this link so that more people could, get the knowledge that was contained within this episode, and also sign up for his, his program there, just with your email address, to get the steps that really helped him. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right below so you don't miss out on my new upcoming episodes that are coming out of every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as the new videos come out. And also be sure to check out past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes on this YouTube channel at this time. Teach you guys all about eating the best foods on the entire planet, the fruits and the vegetables. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com, coming at you from the San Diego Fruit Festival, first annual. Hopefully they have it next year. We'll see you next time. Until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.